Hello.
I'm gonna do the same.
Hello.
Hi.
We are rune farming. While also talking about spooky places. Oh, I need to pull up stream on my phone.
I feel like we're
So I
doing.
can keep up with chat.
Wait, hold on. My whole shit just went black.
Hog.
We can still see your game though. Oh, he died. I guess we'll see Chance in a second. He disconnected.
Oh. Yikes.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and pull up some haunted places.
Alright.
Excuse me. So we don't want to go somewhere too far.
Right, we want to stay relatively close, but we also want something that's not a super obvious gimmick. And you already know what I mean by that, so.
Yeah. Top 5 haunted houses. Okay, this is just gonna be.
Ooh, 13,000 for that one. Nice.
This is just
yeah,
doing
'cause I've
like
got
in
the
the Scream Park.
Scarab thing. Oh, that's doing like actual attraction haunted houses.
Yeah.
I forgot I had the Scarab thing, so I was like, oh, 13,000, nice.
Oh. It's a place called Hacienda Mexican Restaurant that's haunted. Belongs to. Some stories say one apparition belongs to a maid with whom the mansion's owner had an affair. Ooh.
At a
When the maid-
Hacienda Mexican restaurant?
I guess.
Are you sure that's not just an ad that popped up over the thing?
No, it's what what it is.
Should totally DM that to the KSD group and let me check it out.
Right.
The KSD Discord group, because
I'll just send you a link because it's the first.
yeah, that's what I meant. Just send the link.
It's the first one here. Here you go.
All right, let me.
Oh, there is the haunted bridge.
You're gonna
Which
see
I've
my
heard about.
desktop background a few times. Chat, to deal with it. I'm gonna pull this up. Oh, it does just say Hacienda Restaurant. Oh, once a private mansion. In Mishawaka. I don't believe that. Oh, I went there with my sister.
Did you?
Yes.
Did you know you were at a haunted place?
No, because it was literally just a Mexican restaurant.
I wonder if they even do like tours or anything like that.
Not as far as I'm aware. I don't think literally anyone knows about that. It's just a Mexican restaurant.
Is it in? Where's it at?
Mishawaka.
Mishawaka, huh?
Yeah.
How far is Mishawaka? Is it up near South Bend?
Yeah. It's up in that general area. I think it's a little bit south of South Bend. But yeah.
Huh.
Okay, cool. Whatever.
There's also Avon Haunted Bridge, which I'm assuming is in Avon.
You think? Oh, I missed the bird.
Ooh, Whispers Estate.
There we go.
So Whispers Estate is in Mitchell, Indiana. I don't know where that is.
I don't either.
But featured on some TV shows, the estate is said to be the site of many paranormal occurrences, including apparitions, voice phenomena, jiggling doorknobs, tremors,
Voice
unexplained smells, shaking furnitures, and a vortex.
A vortex?
The vortex part is a little wild.
What does that even mean?
They're like, oh yeah, and also, a vortex.
I just realized I've got freaking one of Jacksepticeye's try not to laugh videos up on my other monitor right now because it was up before we started streaming, and
Okay.
I when I pulled up that link you sent, it opened up in my browser as a new tab, and I forgot to minimize the rest of the tabs. So I've got one of Jacksepticeye's try not to laugh videos on my other monitor because I was watching those while playing Wrench Simulator before we started doing all this, and when it was minimized, but when I clicked on the link you shared, um, it just opened it as a new tab, and then when I dragged it over onto my main monitor to look at it, it just left all the other tabs up, and I forgot to minimize them. But it's all good now. You're looking at Whispers Estate, or
Yeah, there's a place called Whispers Estate. It doesn't give me much information other than
weird Tremors?
I don't know where Mitchell is.
What do they mean unexplained smells? Like
Somebody farted and they smelled something weird.
that, or like a mouse died under a cabinet or something and they just couldn't find it, so they're like, oh no, it smells like death, this place is haunted.
I want to know what they mean by a vortex.
Right, I'm gonna Google it. What is a vortex ghost hunting term? The Historical Society 101, let's go. Vortex, central point of spiritual activity or energy.
By the way, update with Chance said his computer died.
Oh, died.
He said, I'm restarting it now, but it's not running well. I don't know what's going on, except it's a little dated and I need to upgrade.
It's not letting me just highlight Vortex.
Hopefully he can get things up and functioning.
I agree. Anyways, you see it, the very bottom one right here that my cursor is next to. It just says central point of spiritual activity or energy.
I still don't get, is that like a visual thing or is it just like a feeling thing?
I don't know.
Hello?
Oh,
Hi.
hello.
Oh my god, dude! I thought my computer died there for a second.
Yeah, we were just
You had-
talking about
you
that.
had me nervous.
I mean, it's a rough start, and I mean, I've been in my off time not streaming. I've been just playing Elden Ring, and that shit's turned to low graphics, and it's struggling. I think I need to upgrade.
Yikes.
Throw a couple bucks at it.
I don't like doing that. I would rather just sell it and then use that money to get something better.
Mm.
So if anyone wants to buy a computer that works, not well, but works, I mean, it was working well up until that point, but I mean, Elden Ring is intensive, and I have Discord, and I am streaming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot of work for it to go through.
I mean, it plays games just well. So if you guys know anyone who wants to buy a $1,600 PC that I'll sell for $900, as much as I don't want to,
Can also put it up on Facebook Marketplace.
I could, but that's
that is true.
sketchy, and I don't really want to be stabbed with a meth needle.
Oof. I don't think that's how that works, but I don't know much about that kind of stuff, so
Yeah.
You got up to 3 views when you were live.
I know. I'm really disappointed.
Dude, you had,
I don't know,
you
I'm gonna
had
bring
5
back up
views
Elden
on the
Ring and
last
keep shooting this bird.
podcast and 6 on our last Elden Ring playthrough.
I know, it's been doing good. I just haven't done it in a while.
I'm confused. Sorry, I'm confused on what the trend is here. because the Elden Ring co-op playthrough number 4 had 6, number 5 had 2, number 6 had 6.
People don't like odd numbers.
Oh, the first Elden Ring co-op playthrough has 10 views, and the second Elden Ring co-op playthrough has 13.
Hell yeah.
And that's a 6-hour stream. we played for 6 hours.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
dude.
we put some fucking work in on the stream.
Nick,
What?
you really, really, really lose track of time in this game. And I'm talking you as in like general, all-encompassing you, not specifically Nick.
I mean, I do lose track of time with almost every game I get interested in.
Yeah, but like this one specifically, like you could just doing a couple of things that we did the other day took 2.5 hours, so.
On this one, I one time accidentally played till 6 o'clock in the morning, and then was like, oh fuck, it's 6 o'clock in the morning, I should go to bed.
Right.
I've also done that a couple times with Elden Ring. It's a real problem.
Especially when I'm rune farming.
Right.
Yeah. That's easy to get lost in though.
Yeah, because you're just like watching a video or something, can't see your clock on your other screen, you know, just chilling, and then you're like, oh shit, it's 6 o'clock, and I didn't notice because I haven't been looking at the clock at the time.
I feel that.
So, Chance, do you know where Mitchell? Shit, do you know where Mitchell, Indiana is?
Mitchell, Indiana? No, I do not.
Because there's a place called Whispers Estate.
Whispers
Dude,
Estate.
Nick, just pull up Google Maps, my guy.
Oh, good idea. I just didn't want to have to do that for every single one, you know?
I mean, yeah, some of them we know, like Indianapolis and Avon and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know a good portion of Indiana, just not that particular spot.
Right. I want to say it's near.
So where would you guys suggest I buy a PC from? Cyberpower?
No. Absolutely not Cyberpower.
That's where I bought this PC from.
That's also where I got mine from, and I've changed almost everything about it because it didn't work.
2 hours and 27 minutes.
Oof.
It's past Indianapolis from us.
Oh, okay. So it's west side, Indiana. It's west side of the cornfield.
Yeah, it's down near the bottom of the boot.
Oh. Oh, what the hell?
Not like at the bottom of the boot, but
Yeah.
there's places in Indy which is not too bad.
Yeah, but it's also in Indy.
Yeah, which I don't know if we would have been hanging around.
In Indy at night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Any
no.
time of the day.
Like, I'll go to Indy for like Comic Con.
Oh,
or
there
like
is a cemetery.
DCI, but like.
There's the Zion Church Cemetery.
Ooh, 82 damages.
It's in Poland, Indiana, so we'll have to see how far that is.
Dude, that's a Europe country.
Not so far that people wouldn't bring their kids to our office from there. It's the only reason I know where that Poland, Indiana exists.
It's 2 hours.
Do I say fuck it and buy an Alienware PC?
No.
No.
I didn't think
God,
so.
no.
I was gonna say, because
That's-
you're paying like a 50% markup just because of the branding.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at Newegg.
I was gonna say, just I don't know what. There was a site. I don't remember what it was. I think Brandon told me about it. It might be PC Part Picker. You could pick out what you wanted, and they would like pre-assemble it to ship it to you or something. I don't remember though.
I mean, you can do that on Cyberpower.
Yeah, but Cyberpower a few years ago got called out for like not putting the correct parts in people's computers.
Oh, I don't like that.
Like they would put the generic brand of stuff that doesn't work in instead of the brand name that does work.
Oof.
Yeah, and then they would skimp on certain parts. Like my motherboard was missing like 2 or 3 of the like support struts. Yeah, it's
Oh.
Hi,
all
by
in
the
all,
way.
just
Hi, everybody. How's it going?
Oh, yeah.
My fucking computer died. My life is a mess. It's falling apart around me, and I'm just smiling away in the middle of it.
playing Elden Ring while talking to the boys, talking to the dogs.
Yeah.
Okay, so I found some places much closer to us here.
Okay.
There's one that actually interests me a little bit called
went
the
through
Witch's
his head.
Circle.
The Witch's Circle. I think I've heard of that one actually.
It's in Daleville.
Daleville's not far.
In Sharp Cemetery.
I think I've heard of that one.
Off the beaten path in Daleville lies Sharp Cemetery in a small dirt circle with several stones. Reports have said that the location has been a place where witches have performed black magic. A man who once lived in the area is said to haunt the area, and a woman in white is also said to haunt the area.
Why is it always a woman in white?
Cause women in white are scary, man.
So brides are scary.
I mean, they can be if you get on the bad side of them. That's their day, man.
I guess, I don't know.
There's also Crybaby Bridge in Anderson, which I have heard of.
I've also heard of that one. I've heard that one, what I've heard about that one sounds pretty dangerous. Cause like if you go in your car just won't start back up after you stop.
Yeah.
Because the stories I've heard, you've gotta drive to like the midpoint of the bridge, turn off your car, and then roll down your windows, and you'll hear the sound of a crying baby, and then your car won't start afterwards.
Let's not do that.
Yeah, no, because that sounds like you're gonna get mugged and maybe murdered.
There's Elliott Hall.
Oh my god.
Is that's a Ball State thing, isn't it?
I don't know. I've never been to Ball State.
I think it is.
Right down the road from me, but I've never been there.
Is that Elliot? Is that like a whole building, or is that one of the halls in La Follette? Because La Follette's no longer standing.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it's one of the Ball State. I think it's one of the older ones. I know. Elliott is. I think that's the one.
I mean, you're on Google.
I think that's one of the ones my ex-girlfriend stayed in. Because I remember going up to the top floor, which was very creepy because it is a very old part of the building. It's just filled with books and shit, and spending time up there, and that's where supposedly the haunted place is.
Can you believe one of the elementary schools I went to as a kid was turned into apartment buildings and is now filled with crackheads?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
It's America.
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 American dream right there.
Turning all the elementary schools into
There's
crack houses.
Beach Grove Cemetery.
Yeah.
Over 150-year-old cemetery.
Wait, which one did you say?
Beach Grove.
Oh, yeah, that's just the other side of Muncie, I'm pretty sure.
Veterans dating back to the Revolutionary War. 40,000 burials.
Yeah, it's like the biggest cemetery in Muncie, I think.
Yeah, ghost tours are scheduled there every year, so we could go to a scheduled tour.
That'd be kind of neat.
Cemetery on Emmeline's parents' land.
Is there?
Yeah.
I honestly kind of want to have a property where I can have a dedicated, like, family
it's pretty
cemetery.
small, but it's a cemetery. There's dead bodies
I think that would be
there.
super cool. Have like a family mausoleum or something where the entire family is buried. And if they want to be cremated, then their urns will be down there. I think that would be cool. have like decorative ones in the house or something. Be like, hey, this is Gertrude, but then have the actual cremains down in the mausoleum. I think that'd be sick.
This is Aunt Gertrude. There's the Grunewald Historic House in Anderson.
I would love to live in a historic house.
Really? Not really to that, but Highland High School Auditorium is supposedly haunted.
I feel like every auditorium is supposedly haunted, and every cemetery.
Yeah. I feel like the Blue River Elementary School is haunted.
Oh, 100%.
That place is fucking creepy,
dude.
Elementary?
Yeah.
I
haven't spent much time in there, so I have no idea.
While I was a TA for the library, we had a couple of days where she had us go to the elementary to help with stuff. Oh, what the heck? I missed 3 arrows on that one. 2 arrows. Hit the 3rd one. And I'll tell you what, walking through, even during classes, walking through that building was real weird. Like,
I spent a lot of time there during the summer when all the lights were off and there were no teachers except for my dad working on his classroom.
Remember when they were doing plumbing work in the high school and the marching band had to practice in the elementary?
It's one of those buildings that turns like really badly into a liminal space when there's nobody else there.
Yes,
and it constantly sounds like there's somebody walking on like through a hallway on hard surface with heels on. But the hallway is carpeted. Like the entire building is carpeted except for inside classrooms.
Inside classrooms, the cafeteria, and the gymnasium.
Yeah. So it's real fucking creepy.
And I guess the stage, but
I think that the gymnasium was the creepiest place for me in that time.
Dude.
Because it's so open.
That and the fact that there was the upstairs gym.
Mm-hmm. Which, do you remember having our 6th grade dance up there?
Yeah, that was real weird.
I didn't like that. Mostly because my crush asked me to dance with her, and I told her no.
Why?
I was like, oh, I'm a fucking sucking dancer. I can't do that. So I just told her no instead of dancing with her.
Dude, I remember next to nothing about elementary school. I remember next to nothing about all of school except for, like, senior year. I just blocked most of it out of my memory. Hardcore.
Hate it that much, huh?
Yeah, dude. Oh, I'm not even at 1,000,000 runes yet. Ugh.
Tell me about it. 216,000.
Oh, I'm at 940,000.
My shit died, so.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
You're running just a little bit behind.
Just a little.
Oh yeah, Cargo, remember you don't have to walk all the way to the edge.
I know.
You can just turn around and start aiming until you can see the bird's head.
Yeah, it just feels nice to walk to the edge.
Those are the closest haunted places I can find.
You didn't find the Jim Jones Church in Farmland?
Is there a Jim Jones Church in Farmland?
Yeah, that was on one of the Nukes videos we watched. Remember? Because we were sitting there and we Googled whether Jim Jones was actually in Indiana at any point. And he was the preacher at a church in Farmland.
I'm looking. Apparently the entire Notre Dame University is haunted.
I mean, everybody's gonna say that about.
Looking now. Dude, I actually really like Nashville, Indiana.
Never been.
It's a cute little area.
Maybe I've been like through it going somewhere else, but not enough to where I'd actually remember it, I don't think.
Do any of us here have a liquid-cooled
No.
GPU?
No.
I would like to have a liquid-cooled PC, but
Well, sorry, liquid-cooled CPU with it's not the full-blown liquid cooling. It's just for the.
no.
I do not.
Do you know anything about those? Because it's just the fan and the thing. Like, do you have to replace the fluid in that, or what's the deal?
I have no idea. I don't know anything about.
I saw somebody do one with baked beans.
I've also seen that. That's rough.
Probably doesn't work very well.
Imagine getting shit on by someone using a fucking PC cooled by baked beans.
So it's in Indianapolis, Cargyle.
Which one?
Jim Jones Church.
I swear there was one in Farmland, because it was on a Nukes video.
I don't remember it being in Farmland. I just remember there being one in Indiana. We'll have to find it again.
I'm gonna pull up the Jim Jones wiki. Give me just a second.
When Jim Jones left Somerset Methodist Church on the south side of Indianapolis, Indiana.
Are there any notorious cult woods in these areas?
Not that I know of, but I remember finding a fire pit with a dog's skull in it when I was a kid, walking around my hometown.
That's fun.
I went deep into the woods.
Let's go fight a cult.
Fight a cult?
Yeah.
Crete,
I know a
Indiana,
cult we can join.
Lynn.
Wait, a joinable cult?
Yeah.
What's their deal?
So they're fuck. What are they called? They're close to Christianity.
Richmond.
That's a little extreme for me.
But there's a place called
Bloomington.
They have cover restaurants all over America.
Cover restaurants?
Yeah, they have restaurants that are basically covers for their cult. I gotta look it up. Yeah, it's just called the Yellow Deli. They're all over Indiana. And they're run by, well, they're all over, not Indiana, they're all over the United States. Their closest one would be in Chattanooga, Tennessee. But they're run by a cult, and I gotta re-find the name of the cult that runs it.
I saw something about a new religion based around Goku.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of awesome.
There's a lot of comparisons between the stories of Jesus and the stories of Goku. So they praise their Lord and Savior son Goku. They wear orange robes. They meditate for 3 hours a day. It seems like a solid religion, I'd follow.
The cult that runs the restaurants is called the 12 Tribes. They actually staged a hippie culture protest, not protesting hippie culture, but like some kind of hippie revival movement in the 70s, where they were basically trying to make them more Christian. They were trying to say, hey, Christian hippies exist. They're actually the movie that just recently came out, a really popular Christian movie that recently came out, is about that. And people don't realize that the people who started that whole movement was a cult.
You see Joe Rogan's comedy building used to house a cult?
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah. the reason he bought it. I guess they were having cult orgies and shit there.
Hell yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. Fucking cult orgy. No, that seems that might be a little outside of my.
I mean, the closest we're gonna get to finding a cult in Indiana is the People's Temple, which is Jim Jones's church. Because his was in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Man, I could have sworn I even read on Wikipedia that it was in.
I mean, we could also go to a Trump rally and we could join a cult that way.
I'm good not joining the Trump cult.
Yeah, I don't really like that cult. I'd
Yeah, I
rather join
could've sworn
Pastafarianism.
Pastafarianism?
Yeah, no
Do you
thanks.
not know? Do you know about that church?
No.
The giant flying spaghetti monster in space that rules over us?
Huh.
I'm going back to rune farming.
Yeah.
They wear colanders on their head.
Colanders, huh?
Yeah,
Does that protect them from the spaghetti monster's mind control?
It's actually a
Probably.
thing in like their driver's license photos. You know how you're not supposed to have any sort of headwear on? Because
They're
of
allowed
their
to.
religion, they're allowed to wear colanders on their head in their driver's license photos.
I mean, you know what? Sign me up.
See, this is the thing. Like some sects of Satanism and like Pastafarianism, the whole point of them existing is to say this religion you call a parody is no more a parody than any other religion.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The beliefs are just as wild. They're just a different kind of wild.
Yeah. Unless you go with Church of Satanism, where it's just atheism.
Have you seen where they brought the somebody from the Church of Satan? Lucian Greaves is his name.
Yeah.
On Fox News and tried to debate him.
I think his name is Graves, but I could be wrong.
Oh yeah, it's Lucian Graves.
And they called him Lucian Greaves.
Yeah, Lucian Greaves.
And it's like, it's not that hard of a name.
But basically he was just like, so yeah, because the Fox host was talking about how
it was
people...
Tucker Carlson, wasn't it?
No.
Oh, I thought it was.
Guy. But the Fox News host was talking about how some people don't want Satanism in school because they set up a Church of Satan after school program at a school.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, well, you know, some parents feel that way about evangelical after school things.
Yeah.
So we're just setting up an alternative thing for kids to go to if they don't want to go to an evangelical after school program.
Yeah. I mean,
so I think it makes sense. Like the guy tried to the Fox News host tried to debate him.
oh
and
yeah.
then he said something about, you know, when I think Satanism, I think sex. I think that's what they do. Is they have sex.
That sounds like a you thing, dog.
Right. Yeah. I remember seeing a TikTok about that, and that was the part that they highlighted in the TikTok, and it's like, why is sex what you think of when you think Satanism?
Maybe it's his own Satanism practices.
It's his own demons.
Yeah, he goes and has Satan orgies.
A little off topic, by the way. Have y'all seen the computer cases where the side panel, instead of just being glass, it's like a screen that you can put different images and stuff on?
Yes,
I want that so bad.
Either that or the graphics card that you can put different.
Yes.
Those
That's
really
cool shit too.
I just want to do what I forget the guy's name. I think it's DIY Perks on YouTube. I want to do what he did, where he built a PC that was also a desk.
Yeah, that's pretty cool too.
He's also built one that was like fold away thing built into the wall that normally just looks like a cool little tiny display table thing on the wall, but then it folds out into a desk that is also a PC. He's done all kinds of cool stuff. I love it.
I can't wait until full body like VR rigs become more affordable, or an alternative option comes out that's more affordable.
Fucking put a jack
More
in the back
affordable
of my
VR
head,
in
plug me
general.
right in, baby.
No, I don't want that.
Oh, plug me in, daddy.
Said like Matrix, put a jack in the back of his head and plug him in straight into it, and I'm like, no, thank you.
I did have some recent news for you guys.
Oh no, not recent news.
You guys know who the Island Boys are?
Oh yeah,
don't,
they're gay for
don't.
each other, aren't they?
Yeah,
Or is that would that be incest for each
it
other?
is. Yeah.
They're brothers. Yeah, they for $5 on OnlyFans. They
For
Yeah.
$5?
Yeah, somebody requested it for $5.
Island boys must be fucking hurting for money.
They're desperate.
I mean, they're the
They're all-
Island Boys.
I'm an island boy. Watch me fuck my brother.
I had the displeasure of coming across a video of them kissing on
I also
TikTok,
came across the
and
video
I
of
was
them
like-
pissing. Or not pissing, kissing.
and I was like,
There's-
why did you show me this?
At least you didn't come across the one of them sucking each other off.
Did you
Is
come
there
across that one?
of that?
That's what they got paid $5 to do.
Oh, they sucked each other off for $5? I thought they kissed each other for $5.
No.
There's a video out there of them sucking each other off.
Island boys go hard.
No, Chance. No. That's incest. That's gross.
Well, I wasn't
Island boys
saying
go
it in
Alabama
admiration.
boys.
I was just saying, man, they go fucking hard.
For $5 too. Somebody was like, "Hey, I'll pay you $5 to."
I
suck
keep
off
missing
your
the
brother."
bird now because with this topic.
I
Can we
wouldn't suck
change,
off
please?
a hot dog for $5. Fuck, let alone my brother.
I
That's
lost
fucking-
viewers because of this conversation.
Did
I
you?
came to be.
I did. It went
I'm
from
sorry.
2 to 1.
Sorry, man.
So the one viewer that was not me left.
It was an interesting topic.
No, it's a gross topic.
That's gross, but it's interesting.
Is it though?
Yeah, because who the fuck sucks off their brother for $5?
No one. I
Except for the
wouldn't.
Island
You
Boys.
can't say no one.
Because the
It's
Island
no
Boys.
longer true.
No one in their right
There is
mind. How about that?
There's at least 2 people on record that will suck their brother off for $5.
At least 2 people.
Minimum 2.
You know,
There's
you're
actual
not
video evidence.
wrong. That is at
Documented
least
and
2
everything.
people.
And if
Okay.
you're to believe Pornhub, there's a lot more sisters willing to suck off brothers for less than that.
No, that's different. Those are by marriage. Those are not blood
Oh, true.
siblings.
Step sibling. True. A little different.
And also, they're completely unrelated actors because they're
They keep
actors.
getting fucking
What?
stuck
You mean they're not really stepsister and stepbrother? Come on. They even call each other stepsister and stepbrother.
Yeah, because
would
every
lie to
sibling calls their sibling by
That's-
sibling.
That's how it is, right? Stepbro.
Okay, I
wouldn't
guess
lie.
to be
Who would
fair, my sisters do call me brother, and I do call them sister sometimes. But that's when we're being goofy. Like I'm like, hey sister,
Hey man, they're fucking. That's a little goofy.
but that's not goofy.
I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just playing devil's advocate over here.
There are some things you don't need to play devil's advocate for.
Yeah, I realized that about too late into it.
Yeah. I would say so.
Have you guys heard of Amberlynn Reed?
No.
No, I got an Amber Alert on my phone today though.
I got it yesterday.
I got one yesterday.
Amberlynn Reed is this lady on YouTube who started, I think, 2014. She started her channel with doing a weight loss journey,
Mm-hmm.
and she ended up gaining. She went from like 360 to over 500 pounds,
Oh.
and she just kept making excuses. She would like make excuses as to why.
Oh,
she
is this the girl who's like, oh, they forgot my salad?
Or
She
the
pulls out like a fucking chicken Alfredo bake and a fucking full thing of breadsticks and fucking extra queso
brings
for
out
dip.
it brings out like the most ungodly burger
Like,
that you could possibly imagine. She's like, I ordered a
can't
light salad, but
can't
okay, I
believe
guess
they-
I'm not gonna waste the
yeah.
food, you know? Is that her?
who
Is that
this
the one?
Probably. I mean, she's been doing it since 2014, and she just posted a video 39 minutes ago. So,
I mean,
I have not. This rabbit hole is so big. I
Pull
have
it up.
not gone down it.
pull it up for a second. I'll be able to tell you if it's her or not.
I have okay. I have. I could share my screen for you.
Okay, here, let me sit at this side of Grace real quick then, and come over and.
Yep. Yep, that's her.
Oh
They
yeah,
for-
yeah.
They forgot I ordered a salad, not a double, triple cheeseburger with bacon and French fries, fucking dipped in horseradish sauce, and then I just stuffed it right in my fucking butt.
With melted cheese on top.
Where's my Caesar salad?
Oh, and you know what's really bad is that Nikocado Avocado makes fun of her.
Oh,
He has no room to make fun of her. He's a maniac.
If you're
yes.
getting made fun of by Nikocado Avocado, no. Nikocado Avocado is weirdly a genius.
No,
It's all an act.
I don't care. It's awful.
It's all an act, but it's all a really cringy act.
No,
It's
he's losing
horrible.
weight now.
Is he though?
Yeah, he is. He's actually lost quite a bit of weight. And at least
My
he's not sucking
my
off his brother on OnlyFans.
I mean, true. He
No,
is
but
one
he
step
is
above the
gaping his
island
booty hole
boys.
on OnlyFans.
The scale goes Nikocado Avocado, Amberlynn Reed, and then the Island Boys.
Although the veracity of which he has sucked off some food on his channel is up there.
And I unfortunately have had the displeasure of being sent an unwanted picture, an unsolicited picture of his asshole.
Same,
Of Oh.
Yeah.
same.
Somebody, I don't remember who it was, one of the people we were friends with on Discord.
Does he have an OnlyFans?
Yes.
He does, yes.
That's disturbing. He probably makes more on that OnlyFans than I do as a fucking surgery scheduler for a dental office.
Oh, 1000% he does.
I've
It's
always
fucking bullshit.
said
It is.
I could probably start an OnlyFans where I just eat on camera and make more money than I do at my job.
Yep, probably.
You know, what the fuck am I doing with my life?
I've debated it, honestly. Like, I've genuinely been like, I wonder if I did that, would it could I actually get that to go anywhere?
There are so many different people on this planet with so many different kinks. You could do anything on OnlyFans, and somebody would pay you for it.
As long as you're consistent.
Dude, I went down another rabbit hole recently that was real fucking disturbing.
Yeah.
So there's this guy called Howard the Duck on TikTok.
Oh, I thought you meant like the actual character, and I was like, yeah, he was in Infinity War and Endgame.
No, it's a different. It's just an old British guy.
Yeah.
on TikTok. And he has a wet clothing kink.
Interesting.
Right? Well documented. If you go to his actual Facebook page,
I don't want to.
people have gone down this rabbit hole. Have done all the research. If you go to his actual Facebook page, he is part of groups that cater to this king. Now, the disturbing part is, and this happened a lot, especially back when YouTube first started, people with weird kinks would make fake challenges, propose those challenges online to children.
Oh, so like the ice bucket challenge and all that?
Stuff like that. So yeah, so that's what he was doing, is he was going on TikTok, and there were parents who didn't realize what he was doing, because he would be like, hey, have your son take a shower with his clothes on for a challenge. It would be funny. And then
Those parents are dumb.
they would do it. And
Or they
sometimes
know
the
exactly what
kids
he's doing, and they're part of the whole problem, and that's
possible.
even worse, but, you know.
But then they went down an even bigger rabbit hole and realized there was a YouTube channel that he has curated with hundreds of thousands of these videos that he has been like amassing and having other people make for him for years.
The crazier part is the parents that basically monetize the fuck out of their children.
You mean like every single children's YouTube channel out there?
Yeah,
Like,
it's fucking crazy.
literally every single one of them is just the parents exploiting their kids for money.
Yeah, they are the
It's
new
disgusting.
era of Disney Channel stars.
Yeah, you think that kid's fucking getting that money put away for them? No.
Absolutely
Parents
not.
Spending that shit.
Like
And
the
you-
freaking, what is it, Ryan's
that
Toy
episode
Reviews
of
or whatever?
Yeah.
His parents are pocketing every single cent of that
Ryan's
money.
World?
Yeah,
Ryan's
the toy reviews or whatever.
Yeah,
His parents are pocketing every single cent of that, and it's gross.
Well, and I remember when he first got popular, a lot of people were saying, A, that the parents are just monetizing their child and pocketing all the money, and B, what's going to happen when he becomes a teenager?
Right? When he gains the freaking
Ability to make
self-awareness to be
decisions for
like, wait a
himself.
second, what's going on
But
here?
Then they had another kid.
Yep.
They spaced it out so as he got too close to being a teenager, they had another kid.
Of course.
The
Fucking, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
exploitation of children is
It's like that episode of Family Guy where Stewie's becomes
so
a
disgusting.
commercial actor.
Well, and it's the same thing with like child stars from like Disney and Nickelodeon.
Oh, absolutely.
If you look at
100%.
Jeanette McCurdy's story, oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. God, that second child, Ryan's younger sibling, they're gonna have a lot to live. You're not doing it like Ryan did it.
Yeah, you gotta be good as Ryan. You gotta do the Ryan face. Come on.
Some of it.
Well, and not only that, they marketed a whole line of toys with his face on it.
Oh yeah.
That's so much worse, man.
Shit be cringy.
And you guys remember,
It should literally be a crime to monetize videos of children on the internet. Like they
do you
did.
guys remember, like, fuck, what was his name? Shane...
Dawson.
Not Shane Dawson. It's a family vlogger.
No.
Only family vlogger that I really watched was Roman Atwood.
I never watched any of them because I thought they were all cringy and gross.
Well, he was a family vlogger, and he would always put on this, like, you know, oh, our life is so cool, our life is so great, look at how awesome this is.
Oh, and he turned out to be like an abuser.
Is this the guy that murdered his girlfriend?
No. This guy, you guys remember when the website Ashley Madison was hacked?
No, I don't even know what that is.
Ashley Madison is a cheating website.
Ah.
Where people who are in marriages can go and cheat on their spouse.
Cool.
Oh yeah, I think I think you've talked about that to me before.
Yeah, it was hacked, and his name was one of the top names on their spenders list.
Solid.
Yikes.
And that really broke everyone's like view of his family, and it basically destroyed his channel.
I'm not gonna lie, if someone's like whole income slash career is family vlog YouTube channel, I'm already questioning the legitimacy of any
All of it.
positivity in their life at all. Like,
It's like fucking Ned Fulmer from the Try Guys.
Oh
Who-
yeah,
whose
fuck,
whole
dude.
thing was I love my wife. My wife is great. Fucking cheats on his wife. The only Try Guy to cheat on his wife. Is the one who talks about how much he loves his wife, and that's like his whole personality.
yeah.
Yeah, that was really a fucking string of bad decisions on his part.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, he fucked himself. Well, that's like fucking
No,
Mini Lad.
no, he fucked someone that wasn't his wife.
True, yeah. Mini Lad fucked his career, dude. He still goes live. Like, I still see his shit pop up in my suggestions.
He
He'll
still
be like
does
live to like 300 or 400 people. And I'm like, what are you doing? Stop.
What did MIDI Lad do? I don't even remember that name.
A bunch of fans came out talking about how he was essaying them.
I want to say he was
Oh,
another
okay.
one that like groomed his fans and stuff.
Yeah, grooming and all that fun stuff.
Another Colleen
Except when
Ballinger.
Oh my god, Colleen Ballinger's. You guys saw her apology video, right?
No, I still haven't, and I refuse to watch it.
Who is it? What is it?
Miranda
Do you
Sings.
remember a YouTuber called Miranda Sings?
The name is familiar, but I don't.
Wore the big bright red lipstick and had messy hair and would sing with a ukulele and stuff.
Purple shirt, purple cat shirt.
She was one of the early YouTubers that popped off real big. Around the time of like Smosh and stuff.
Well, I'm pulling up a video so you can see.
Wasn't
I saw a clip of her doing a song in a jail cell talking about how she's not a groomer.
yes,
or
that was her
something.
quote-unquote apology video for it coming out that she groomed a ton of fans and stuff. Is she was like, I'm not a groomer, I'm just a loser with my ukulele singing a song.
A 14-year-old Irish kid used lingerie.
Ooh, rough.
Yeah.
And like
Real gross.
talked about sex in a group chat with a bunch of her fans. Real weird.
I want to say I don't take
Not a good
anything I say like we're not saying things as fact. We're just saying as reports and what we recall. So just take that into consideration. But I feel like Call Me Carson was one that was also a name that went around as like grooming fans and stuff. I could
Yeah.
be wrong, but
No, he was.
he was one of the
It
names
wasn't
that went
grooming
around.
fans though. It was basically being a pedophile.
Ah,
Like
No.
what?
well, I mean the grooming
What?
fans kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
Why-
the other
why
is a bit
feels-
more broad.
Like when you're getting these kinds of, you have this level of notoriety. Why do you feel the need to go?
Well, a lot of it starts
that route
before
when
they
you-
get the notoriety.
True, yeah. It's when they're not unsure of whether they'll come up.
And then they do gain a footing and they're like, I'm just gonna keep doing it because this will never come back to haunt me.
Well,
Or they
you
try
know,
to hide it, which then comes back to bite them.
Or they're such a narcissist that they don't see anything wrong with it. They're just like, excuse you, why are you saying I'm a bad person for doing this bad thing? You're bad for saying that I'm bad. You're mean to me.
I think there were like 3 Yogscast members who got in trouble for stuff like that.
Yeah, and they deleted every single video and stream VOD that ever had them included in it, including a lot of their like charity stream VODs and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about that not
They
long ago as
really-
well.
That's gotta be a weird thing with Mini Lad. There's a fucking football stadium named after him or some shit. He's like the sponsor of a football team.
Oof. That'd be like if Ryan Reynolds, never gonna happen because he's a sweetheart, but like if
He
someone
really
like Ryan
is.
Reynolds came out to be a bad person and then like Mint Mobile and Wrexham football or whatever, like they're all gonna have to be like, well,
I mean, the Will Smith thing.
yeah. Which I still think a lot of the reaction to that was kind of overkill, but whatever.
For sure.
Did something happen with Sky Does Minecraft?
Sky Does Minecraft. That was the one that divorced his wife, wasn't it? And then he became a rapper and made songs about how he and his wife were divorced.
I remember
That was the
him
one that my
becoming a
ex
rapper.
said she was his cousin.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Don't get me wrong, some of the songs were really good songs. Like, he got some good lyrics and some good flow, but it's still a little weird to, like, right after start monetizing it, you know?
I'm gonna
I
see
guess you gotta
who-
get the emotion out somehow. Like, I would definitely write after something like that. I would definitely start writing the songs, but I wouldn't like monetize them.
I'm looking at his views. He hasn't posted in 2 years.
Yeah, he basically quit a few years ago, I'm pretty sure.
See, that's something that happened with a YouTuber I used to watch. He was super big. He has millions of followers, and he just stopped posting. And I haven't seen
PewDiePie.
anything. There's nothing on his fucking social medias anywhere. I'm like, did you fucking die?
PewDiePie stopped posting though because he was about to be a dad, and now he is a dad. He got
Yeah.
baby now, and it's a real cute baby. I didn't watch the video, but I saw the thumbnail. It's a real cute baby.
Have you seen people upset that he's a dad?
Because they
Why
have
do they
parasocial
care?
relationships, and they can't separate his life from theirs.
Yeah.
Fucking stupid.
Yep.
This is what I hate about the current. One of the things I hate about the current online situation is that there are so many people who have parasocial relationships,
Yeah.
and that's what leads to like massive simp communities,
Yup.
which can
That's what
get
leads to
very
people selling
dangerous.
bathwater in farts and jars.
Oh god, yeah. Belle Delphine's following,
And
Amaranth's following.
yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah,
All that shit's fucking crazy.
that's real
And-
weird.
Those can get really dangerous for
Like,
the person who has.
That following.
don't get me
sure.
wrong. Don't get me wrong. Supporting actresses and models and stuff that you enjoy on a site like OnlyFans, you do you, fam. By all means, do that. Support people. But bathwater and farts in jars, and like even like used lingerie and stuff is real weird to me. Like, that feels like a
fart in jar is
biohazard.
a whole other fucking level.
I mean, yeah. Like,
I
that's
watched-
a hardcore biohazard type situation, and that's just.
I watched an episode of the Cold Ones recently where they were opening fan mail,
Oh no.
and
Did they get poo?
well, they got a jar, right?
Oh god.
And the guy like left a letter, and he was like, "Only one of you is allowed to open the jar. There's a
Oh.
message. There's a secret."
No, it
message
was
inside."
only gamer legends are allowed to open this
Yeah.
jar.
And then like Chad opens the jar, and he goes, "Oh, that smells weird." And then he hands it to Max and goes, "Do you smell that?" And then Max took a big old whiff of it and goes, "Yeah, it stinks." And then they took the letter out of the jar, and it said, "I farted in this jar." Lol.
And they both die.
It was actually perfect.
At least it wasn't another type of jar, if you get my drift.
Oh my god, no.
that would be the most biohazard you could ever biohazard, like.
Oh, by the way, Carl, you remember that shoe on head video I was talking about wanting to show you guys?
Oh yeah.
I may change my mind on that.
Yeah?
PragerU just made a video saying that she's right.
Oh, never
That's
mind
right.
then.
Shoe on head. Even though I do agree with her, she's getting a shit ton of hate because PragerU said she's kind of right, you know.
If PragerU says you're right, you're probably wrong.
But let's think she wasn't wrong.
Well, yeah, I guess that's fair. Cause you talked to me about it, and it sounded somewhat sane. Like I would have to actually like dwell on the stuff for a little while and stuff.
I don't
But
know. Do you guys want to watch it real quick?
I kind of want to root for him.
I mean, you can just.
I mean, I can do both.
You could just pull up my stream on the other screen and listen to it.
I could. But that would, I guess, yeah.
How long is it?
21 minutes. I agree with a lot of things she says. Shoe on head in general. Not everything she says.
Men are.
She's a very kind of divisive person. So.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear it?
I wanna,
Yeah.
okay,
Who is
I
this?
remember this video now.
Shoe on head.
Shoe on head.
I feel like I remember a little bit about what you talked about with this one, and I have a feeling I know at least part of why PragerU was like, yeah, she's right. And it's because, you know, she's saying, hey, men are victims. And PragerU's like, yes, men are victims.
I think it's less, hey, men are victims, and more,
Well, that's
hey,
PragerU's stance.
Yeah, men can be victims. It's more of everybody has different problems.
Yeah.
And it's not fair to just say men don't have any problems.
Right.
Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and start this video. And
Like, certain problems definitely have different weights, for sure. Especially, like, socially. But just because a problem is outweighed by another problem doesn't mean it should be ignored completely.
Well, and she's also discusses why characters like Andrew Tate are gaining so many
and like
followers.
the like incel community and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Being
So let's
like,
go ahead
I
and
am
start the video.
owed intercourse by this woman because I am a man. That kind of bullshit.
I'm starting.
Okay.
Not okay. That's right, folks. The men
I'll be
are
right back.
not okay. The men have no friends, no girlfriend, no college education, no money, are breaking their legs and inserting
Sounds
metal
like
rods
me.
into their bones to be a few inches taller, and listening
that
to
one.
AI Batman help them overcome their pornography addictions.
You deserve real love.
Turns out the society that was
Yep.
built by and allegedly for men has indeed let them down. Now you might be thinking, oh look, another boo-hoo poor men video by Shoe on Head. Yes. And if you have a problem with that, tune into literally anything else.
Man, I like the
Men are in
attitude.
a crisis, and it seems nobody really cares. And the people who do care just seem like the people who want to sell them shit. Not me. I'm different. So before we get into this, let's quickly get into today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is
Shoot.
Holzkern. Holzkern is a young Austrian company that designs unique crafted watches and jewelry made from all natural materials. Their
Man, if I could
high-quality
afford that
timepieces
kind of stuff,
come
I
in
would get
various
it.
designs for both men
What the
and
fuck?
women,
Who do you
making them
think
the
your
perfect
audience
gift for
is?
any occasion.
Rich
Her?
people,
Great
apparently.
blend of function and fashion, and overall, I just think they look very classy.
Watch it be like a $20 watch, though.
$2 Dora the
I was
Explorer
pretty
watch.
impressed with the silver casing and blue marble dial of the Naturalist
Dude,
watch.
that's gotta be like a
Made for
$2,000
great gift for
watch.
my
Like, what the hell?
He especially loved the casual yet stylish appearance, making it an ideal choice.
What's the
to
company
wear
called?
At work and at
I don't know.
I'm
It'll
also
say it
pretty
in a
happy with the
minute.
watch I picked out. It's made
Like,
from
she'll say it
black and
again
white
in a minute,
marble and
probably.
features a nice
It's
black
sponsorship. They
leather
always say it multiple
bracelet
times.
that just feels so comfy.
Holzkern.
They also create elegantly crafted earrings, very unique
Holzkern.
sunglasses, and necklaces, like this rose marble elevation necklace. It makes a really memorable and unique gift for a loved one. All of their products have a 24-month warranty,
Holzkern.
and ordering online
Yeah,
is
Holzkern.
super easy with free shipping to the U.S. and
Pulling it
most
up,
EU
just to look.
countries within
Oh, yeah,
$550.
so if you want to get yourself
Yeah,
a good quality
$450
watch
for one of those
on this
watches.
channel, I highly recommend
Fuck
checking out
me,
their store
dude.
and clicking the link in the description below.
Yeah.
Use my special
If I could
code
afford that,
SHOE15
I'd
at
get a
checkout that will give you
$450 watch,
15%
but
off for all products
I can't afford a
store-wide. So go to the
$20
link down below
watch.
and choose your own unique piece of nature.
I wonder if
Thank you,
I'm
gonna-
Holzkern,
15%
for
off,
sponsoring
baby.
this video,
Fuck
and
yeah.
thank you, the
That's
people who
literally
are
half of my
saving
bank
lives.
account for a watch.
Men and boys
No, thank
struggling?
you.
And what should we do about it?
A few new studies have come out that have shown that young men are
Oh,
more
interesting
lonely
that she
and
used a
single than
CNN
ever
clip,
before.
and PragerU was like,
Not
yes,
just
this
men,
is good.
Women and children too. It's predicted
PragerU is one of those that's
45%
like,
of women
CNN
will be
is
single and
liberal
childless
fake
by
news.
2030. But according to the media, this is a good thing. The she-economy is booming. Meanwhile, men being single is treated like this.
New study explains why some single men are having a hard time finding a new partner.
Some of the music that they listen to speaks very derogatory.
Right.
Yeah, man, stop listening to that derogatory music. Then maybe you won't be single. I don't know, I think men and women being
You mean the
single and
music that
lonely
says, "I'm
shows
sad
there
and I
might be
wanna
something
die"?
wrong, with
'Cause that's
society.
90% of my
Perhaps we should
music.
address this, not
I
just
listen to
wave
very
your arm as
emotional metal
empowering
music.
or pathetic. According to several different
Or
articles,
Sleep
I don't
Token,
know
which
that
is like,
from
I
source.
love you so
I read about
much
it on the internet.
that I'm gonna
Research
die.
shows that people from individualist countries show a greater sense of loneliness. This is linked to socioeconomic development, increased education, a shift towards white-collar jobs, and urbanization. Japan also has an issue with loneliness. In fact, they have a whole movement of people they call the hikikomori.
Hikikomori.
Did I say that right?
Hikikomori. Have you guys ever heard of the hikikomori epidemic
No.
in Japan? There's a huge population of men who just become hermits and never go outside, stay inside, play video games, never leave at all or attempt to talk to any women, which is why the population growth in Japan is at an all-time low. Because it is a massive portion of the population. And it's
Interesting.
only getting higher.
Basically, postmodern.
We don't care about your ad.
Does this Raid Shadow Legends?
Hermits.
Looks like it.
Mostly young men
It does.
who
But it
completely
also looks like
withdraw
literally
from
every
society,
single
secluding
mobile
themselves
RPG
in their
ever.
rooms for months and years at a time. In 2010, there was an estimated 700,000 hikikomori in Japan. And today, it's estimated to be about 1.55 million. And because of things like this, people aren't having babies, so Japan's population has been in a sharp decline since 2011. It's gotten so bad that Japan even produces videos of live-action women staring into the camera to help the hikikomori learn to cope with eye contact and reintegrate them back into society. So basically,
Dude,
if
that's
you want to
exposure
know
therapy
America's
turned
future,
to the
look
max.
no
Like,
further
that
than
would freak
Japan.
me
A lot
out.
of people, including myself, blame this partially on the rise of social media and technology.
That's like if someone has arachnophobia,
Easier, it can also make us
you
more
just
atomized.
dunk them
Why
in a
go to
tank
the
full of spiders and say, hey, this is gonna help you cope with spiders. Like, no, that's not how that works. You don't just
I
throw
think-
a tarantula on an arachnophobic person's face and say, you're gonna cope with spiders now.
Well, to be fair, from what I've seen, Japan does not really pay a whole lot of attention to
Oh,
mental
no,
health
absolutely
anything.
not.
So it's surprising they're doing anything about it.
Well, they care about their population. They need people to work.
Yeah, that's the thing. And that's probably why there are so many hikikomori, is that even as children, their lives are run by this work culture, even in
Yeah.
school, where they go to cram school after they get out of normal school, and they have to have good grades, and and then after that they have to get a job, and you're looked down upon if you take your allotted vacation time and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Which is where we're headed here.
Buy a new
Yep.
microphone and have it shipped to me in a day. Why hang out with friends when I can get all my social interaction I need from Twitter and streamers? Why go on dates and bother meeting women when I could just tap, Google big boob and get 2 million results? Or see my high school crush's holes on OnlyFans for only $5. Instant dopamine, instant satisfaction.
Honestly,
and hey,
though,
who even needs a real man when you just have an AI
that's
girl
a genuine thing that people do.
So, dating apps really are the great Satan, and I'm convinced they've completely broken men's brains. Women on dating apps are picky. Women in general are picky, and I mean, naturally we are pickier. We're the ones who carry the babies, at least for now. But on dating apps, you have to admit, it's a little
What?
insane. It's safe to say that
have you not heard
What's
about
that?
that?
What was that graph?
I didn't catch the, at least for now, bit.
There's artificial wombs.
and I mean,
Oh.
naturally we are pickier. We're the ones who carry the babies,
Okay.
at least for now. But on dating
I,
apps, you have to
for some
admit,
reason,
it's
thought it was,
How many
because of
are
how
you
often I
using?
see it online, I thought it was like a trans joke, and I was like, that's gross.
Oh yeah, fucking
But-
dating apps are like this. Men will swipe on anyone basically. Women will not. Like, I never get fucking matches, and anyone I do get a match with does not fucking talk to me.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I got very lucky. I met Hannah on a dating app, and I'm
The
very
odds of
lucky.
that are fucking minuscule.
Yeah. And they always advertise like how good their like
Yeah.
turnout rate for like marriages are, and it's like I don't believe you.
Right.
Especially on something like Tinder, because Tinder is 100% only for hookups now.
Oh,
People
100%.
only use it for hookups.
That's why I can't understand why I can't get someone to hook up. Like, damn it, Tinder, do your fucking job.
Use Grinder instead.
Grinder, I thought that was.
It is.
It is. Before you even finish your
See,
thought,
that's
it
the
is.
problem too. I would have so much fucking success if I was into men.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd be fucking ass every night.
I have definitely noticed this on. I even, me and Hannah did an experiment once when she was talking about how, she thought she was unattractive and how she would not have success on things. And so we made a fake Tinder account.
Oh, yeah.
With
Oh,
her.
I remember this, yeah.
And she got a shit ton of likes.
Oh, yeah.
Shit ton of them.
Well, I think I had 30 matches on Tinder. I looked at Emmeline's Tinder one time. Fucking hundreds. Hundreds. I was like, oh my god. How even? I don't know.
I had
nice, I swear.
I always had the problem where I was like, man, this person's really pretty and they seem really cool personality-wise. Oh, but they're out of my league, so I'm just gonna swipe left to avoid the embarrassment of them not swiping on me and not matching. So then I was just swiping left on everyone because I was just like, they're out of my league.
When I was more picky on Bumble, which is where I met Hannah, but when I was on Tinder, I just liked every single person.
I
I
just
swiped right. I didn't even look at profiles.
Not only did I think everyone was out of my league, but I also didn't want to like start a conversation with someone and then be like, oh wow, you're actually really lame, and be like, hey, can we just not talk anymore? I couldn't handle that like awkwardness of talking to someone like that and be like, yeah, you're not as cool as I thought you would be.
Well, and there's also this weird standard now that I don't think a lot of people talk about. When you're not a generally attractive man and you attempt to like go out in public and flirt like an attractive man would.
Yeah. You're seen as a creep, yeah.
Yeah.
You're a creep.
That's a meme I've seen go around a handful of times.
See, that's
It's the
problem,
office
too.
worker. The office worker, and there's the like handsome coworker that comes up, and there's the fat like IT guy coworker that comes up, and they're just like, the one they're like, oh thank you, that's an empowering compliment, and the other one's like, ah, you're a creep, get away from me. And it's literally the exact same words, just from a different physical person.
Yeah.
See, my problem is I like to think that I'm reasonably attractive, yet
Dude,
I
you're a
always still
fucking
feel
bombshell.
like I am not and that I am a creep.
Like, genuinely speaking, I think you're a bombshell. Like, I think you're hot as fuck, dude.
I'd suck your dick for $5.
I would not. I'd need at least $20, but 20
Man,
bucks
I
is
gotta
20 bucks, man.
I gotta start an OnlyFans. Shit.
20 bucks is 20 bucks. What can I say?
No, like there's times where I'll like
As long as
look
you're
at myself in
clean,
the mirror.
you
I'm
know?
like, yeah, I'm fairly attractive, and then just past experience makes me think that is not the case.
No, I do think it is just that, and this is something I heard when I was watching the series on MILF Manor on
What?
Cinnamon Coast. Yeah, there's a dating show called MILF Manor. It's really fucking creepy. All these older women come on, and then they have the reveal where the people they're going to be dating are each other's sons.
Yeah, the other
Oh
MILFs' sons.
no!
Yeah.
No! Oh no! Oh
Yeah,
no!
but so many, and he talked about this. So many of these women were just like, "Oh, I'm really attractive to younger guys," and Ken was like, "In some cases that may be the case, but in other cases, to them you're just easy
Yeah.
Yeah.
because you have such a high libido as you describe it. You're easy."
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
so it's not really, oh, I'm attracted to older women. It's you're just the easy one to sleep with. Younger women have, I don't know what to call it, more self-respect, or they have more experience, or sorry, less experience with shit men. They're just pickier in general with who they go out with, who they sleep with, and older women who are in that time in their life where they're just like, oh, I want to fuck now, easy. So the younger men are just, they just take, men are less picky in general. They really just,
Well, and
most
not to
men,
mention the fact that if they're strictly in it for a sexual relationship, younger men are much less likely to have some form of ED.
well, and I also know that, younger men just don't care that much who they have sex with as long as they're having sex,
Hmm. That's a big thing too.
So it's just it's a weird culture these days.
Yeah. Which, I don't know if it's necessarily that it's a weird culture these days, or if it's more like this weird culture is much more easily known to people that wouldn't normally participate these days. Because that's something as well, like, things aren't necessarily more popular now than they used to be. It's just that more people know about it now because it's so much easier to get access to information now.
Well, and they started the MILF Manor series with the statement that they said that it's normal for older men to have relationships with younger women, and it's seen as weird for older women to have relationships with younger men.
No,
I disagree with that.
yeah, I would disagree with that too.
I think
it's
both are
more
weird.
socially. I think both are weird, yes, but I think it's more socially acceptable for older women to date younger men.
Like, if it's more than like a 5-year gap, then it's a little weird.
I
Sure, you got fucking what's his name from the Titanic, but like that's a lot.
Oh, his dating range is 25. Once they hit 25, he breaks up with them.
Yeah, that's fucked.
That's
Yeah.
real weird.
Have you not heard that?
I have, and I don't like
Yeah.
it.
All right, let's continue with this video, and you guys tell me if there's anything later on that you want to talk about or you disagree with.
I was like, we'll just do what we normally do, and when we find something, we'll be like, hey, let's talk about this.
It's a little insane. It's safe to say that the commodification of love and window shopping of dating apps probably has to do a lot with the rise of lonely single men. Men are not just lonely when it comes to dating, they're lonely when it comes to friendship too. According to Vox, Americans are currently in a friendship recession, and men are being hit the hardest. The percentage of men who reported having at least 6 close friendships fell in half since the 90s. 1 in 5 men say they have no close friendships. Looking at all these statistics, the explosion of figures like Andrew Tate is not surprising at all.
I believe being a man is a blessing because it starts so different. I believe that every man is born without any value at all. I think that the world's never going to think you're important unless you make yourself important.
And recently, a new study came out about how young men are moving towards the right. And every other month, we, the
I've noticed that big time.
whatever you want to call the space online, performs the same song and dance. What's wrong with men? Why is this happening? Why don't we have a leftist Andrew Tate? We need to push men to the left. Andrew Tate rarely, if ever, talks about politics. Andrew Tate talks about men, and the left only talks about men when they talk about Andrew Tate. A few months ago, during one of the monthly song and dances, some progressive people I follow made the mistake of addressing men's issues, and the even bigger mistake of pointing their finger at their own spaces for not doing enough to address said men's issues.
I want to touch on something she said. the I forget what all she said, but like the left doesn't talk about men unless it's Andrew Tate or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That thing, to me personally, is just like, it depends on what space you're in within that group, because I don't see much at all about Andrew Tate, but I also don't see much at all about specifically men's mental health
Well,
and
he's
stuff like
also
that.
dropped
So
off since he's been in hiding or prison or wherever he's been.
yeah, which I mean, good.
But for a while there, he was all over everything for me. It was fucking annoying as shit.
But I think what she's saying there doesn't mean it's just Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
It's just that's a more
the left
popular thing
talks
for
of-
them to talk about.
Well, the left talks about men when it's shitty men.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah, like Andrew Tate.
And I do see that as being a somewhat common occurrence compared to concerns about stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I do see specifically in some closer knit groups that I've got, they do talk about, like what I mentioned, the rise in young, like right-wing incel groups is staggering, which is very concerning.
Well, she's about to get into that conversation, that bit of that conversation.
Gotcha.
So we'll see what she has to say about it, and what these other left-wing online people have said about it. Because I think this is the Young Turk. Yeah, this is the Young Turks.
I've never heard of them.
Very left-wing, like alternative media outlet.
That explains it. I try not to stray too far to either side, really. I mean, I definitely stray way farther left than right, but I try not to stray like extreme.
Loneliest generation, and addressing it doesn't mean that you turn your back on issues pertaining to women, but it does mean that we should be focused on what it is in society that is leading to this epidemic, what the left can do to offer solutions, and how we can basically fight back against the more nefarious figures who have filled the void that, you know, men are struggling with. People like Jordan Peterson and what have you.
Oh,
Now,
Jordan
recently,
Peterson.
Raj, who's a popular streamer, had tweeted this thread that I think is really, really important to address. He writes, "I cannot stress enough how important it is to understand that 12-year-old white boys on Twitch are not being pulled into fascism because of some Machiavellian desire to preserve and expand their privileges. It's because the right talks to them and the left doesn't."
The responses to these tweets and this content were very normal, level-headed, and respectful. Me when I lie.
My son is autistic and he is going to be starting preschool in
And out again.
LMAO.
I thought that was part of the video, and I was like,
poor widow men
what?
having problems. Boo hoo. Grow the up then. Have men considered being smarter? I'm enjoying all these sad little boys and their sad little tweets about their sad, pathetic lives. Sounds like a personal problem. Is the lack of compassion for men in the room with us
alright,
now?
so
Maybe men are just not good.
part of this, a lot of the earlier ones, this one feels like super duper like left wing, but some of the earlier ones just sound like boomer ideologies. Like, if that makes sense, like, oh, boohoo, grow up, be a man. Like, that's a very like boomery ideology of men aren't allowed to be sad. Just grow up, strengthen
that's what
up.
you end up with when you go too far left, and it's less, oh, you have to be a man, and it's more, your problems don't fucking matter, or you don't have problems because you have privilege.
I guess, like I said, maybe it's because I try not to stray too far either side. I try to avoid one way more than the other, but
Shall we continue?
yes.
People then. I'm so fucking tired of people trying to make male loneliness as a huge societal problem. Yeah, no, their fifis are not my responsibility, and I shouldn't have to be punished because they can't get their shit together as human beings. Grow the up. Why are we trying to win these entitled little predators over? The left isn't for them. That's why they go right in the first place. We're all lonely and alienated. It's young men going to the alt-right in droves. The problem isn't our messaging, it's them. It's literally not our problem. Men flock to Andrew Tate not because they're lonely, but because they're bigots. Hope this helps. Nah, it's just misogynists being louder than before and not getting laid. LOL. Cry harder, losers. 90% of all homicides recorded worldwide were committed by male perpetrators. We should just get rid of all males, to be honest. This includes trans women, as they still retain male violence. The Tumblr feminists who were like, all men are sexist and rapists, male tears, penises are evil, blah 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 back in the day. Well, this is them now. Should've just let me cook back then. Listen up, chuckle. I'm white, socially awkward, autistic, in my 40s, ugly, overweight, crippled, got a weird balding pattern, and have bad skin. You know what I didn't do? Choose to become a fascist, because I recognize most of the sort that look like me are the problem. I may be hideously ugly and pathetic, but at least I'm not a fascist. Thank you for your input, buddy. You're, really helping the situation. The reason young men flock to alt-right MRA movements is because the left gives brain-dead advice to young men. We need to be more compassionate to them, for our own sake. I'm sorry, but how is respect women brain-dead advice? What advice? Don't rape? Don't be a rapist is bad advice? Help, I have no friends.
No, but that's exactly what he's talking about. The fact that your only response was that is exactly what he's talking about. You're refusing to address a larger problem by focusing on
you're attempting to treat the symptom and not the cause.
Not only that, but like they're completely unrelated issues. That's like the whole thing of like the whole like, this is Twitter, I like waffles. Oh, so you just hate pancakes then? Oh, and nobody even mentioned French toast. I see how it is. Like, that's exactly what this is. Like, he brings up one very specific point and then they jump to other points because they don't know how to have a cohesive conversation. I ran out of breath. I forgot to breathe.
This is what I've always fucking hated about some of this, teach young boys not to rape thing, right? First off, I don't think there are a lot of men that are just born with the desire to rape people.
Yeah, no, that's not a thing. It's definitely a taught.
Yeah.
It's a taught behavior, for sure.
And not only that, the people who do it know it's wrong.
They just don't care.
Yeah, it's not like you can teach them not to do it because they don't know it's wrong. The people who do it know it's wrong. They're just bad people.
Yeah.
So that sentiment has always been wild to me.
It is very, very weird.
Yeah, just teach them not to do it. Well, yeah, you can tell them not to do it, but if they're fucking sociopaths who have no idea how to empathize, or
if they're grapists, they're gonna grape.
Yeah. I somewhat kind of understand the person's response of like, respect women, brain dead advice, ? But in this specific instance, yes, your reply is brain dead. That is not the point of what he said. The point of what he said has nothing to do with that.
No. Alright, let's continue.
Not raping? Act like a decent human being. It's not hard. It's brain dead advice. Brain dead advice like, get consent and don't be a Nazi and women are people. Walking up to men struggling with loneliness and depression like,
kids, don't be racist.
Incredible. Here's my actual advice I would give to my teen boys as a leftist. 1. Always get enthusiastic consent. 2. Save the planet. 3. Don't say that. It's actually kind of racist. Like, what the f is this? How does this address men and their issues? It doesn't. Why does their advice always seem to be Become a liberal. Hey men, here's how to fix all your problems. Agree with me politically. Men
Well,
want
it's not even
our
that.
idea
It's not even
because-
that. It's completely deflecting. Like, it's not just, hey, be a liberal, or hey, agree with my political stances. It's, hey, I'm just gonna change the subject entirely and not address what you said.
Well, and that's what I was mentioning before. It's just them saying these are the issues that matter and yours don't.
Yes.
You know, women's
And
issues.
that's
you know.
That's what I was saying as well, is like, just because it's a larger issue does not mean we get to ignore the first issue. Like,
Well, and here's something else. A lot of those larger issues could be solved by working on this smaller issue as well.
oh, 100%.
Because we've already figured out, we've already come to the conclusion that these things are not being followed because they are lonely, therefore they are going and following people like Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
Who do not agree with these sentiments.
Exactly. Like the whole save the planet thing. When they get lonely, they follow people that make them feel important, and those people think climate change is a myth.
Yeah. All right. And I do want to say, this isn't us agreeing with the sentiment. I don't remember what I was going to say here. I had something profound to say. Sorry. Okay, there. This isn't us agreeing with the sentiment that, because there's a lot of conservative sentiments that, men or white men are the most oppressed.
Oh yeah,
in America.
absolutely. Not no.
We are not oppressed.
No.
But just because we're not oppressed societally doesn't mean men don't also have their issues.
Yeah, that's what we're getting at.
My stance is everyone under a certain dollar value is oppressed equally. Nah, that's not true. Everyone's oppressed monetarily. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Economically, everyone's oppressed.
Yeah.
They
In
don't
the
give a fuck. They want
everybody.
their money. They don't give a fuck about your money.
Well, and that's what I've seen a lot recently, is people discussing the existence of the white race, and when it actually came into play, and it being back in the day when they had indentured servants and slaves, and the indentured servants and slaves were banding together and rebelling, and so the government at the time decided that they would come out with the white race to make the indentured servants feel more important than the slaves, so they wouldn't band together and overthrow the powers that be because they have money.
That makes sense. I mean, to be fair, racism in general is mostly a monetary system when you boil down to it. At least in America, because it all stemmed from wanting as cheap of labor as possible, and they decided, hey, we can make these people feel more important and or less important based on what they look like, so we can make the most money.
Well, and before race-based slavery, the white race did not exist.
Yeah.
We were, you know, Scandinavian. We were Irish.
It was based
Scottish.
on where you came from Europe.
Yeah.
Like,
we were
like there was hardcore there was hardcore racism against like Italians and stuff back in the day.
Yeah, there was no big happy white family in Europe. We were slaughtering each other.
It was like, oh, you're from this country? Oh, gross. You have this accent? Ugh.
Yeah, it only was brought into existence to keep rich people rich.
Oh, 100%.
And it continues to say
that's 95% of all issues, is just trying to keep rich people rich and poor people poor.
And it's still that way because
oh yeah, 100%. Oh yeah.
One of the biggest issues in America right now is that conservatives and liberals are fighting each other not even realizing that the government fucking hates us. Every single one of us, no matter what political ideology we follow.
It depends on where you go, because
It's
within
not the government though; it's the corporations that own the government.
well, in turn meaning the government. But like, even within either side, you've still got your groups that are just like, I don't care who's in there. I don't like any of them. They're all bad. I just don't want the ones that are actively trying to harm us on the surface level.
We just need a hard reset. Like, let's fucking do something that's gonna change everything. Let's fuck it up.
I was talking with my girlfriend the other day, actually, because we were watching. Actually, I might have been talking to Nick, telling you about us watching the Hunger Games. I don't know. I was talking to someone watching the Hunger Games and stuff, talking about how, unironically, I feel like the U.S. is genuinely headed in a similar direction.
Honestly, we're due for a Hunger Games or two.
Like, genuinely, it's to the point where the government is going to try to have some sort of spectacle thing to distract us from the real issues and keep us from making actual positive change.
The spectacle is going to be a civil war.
And it's not even going to be that. The spectacle is going to be a war with aliens where they unite us against them.
That's the thing, though, is that's sort of rather kind of what happened in the Hunger Games that caused the Hunger Games to exist in the first place. It was a global nuclear war that led to the fall of most civilization, and then as civilizations were rebuilding in North America, came Panem, and then some of the districts, like District 13 and so on and so forth, decided, hey, we're being treated unfairly by the capital, so let's revolt. And so they did, and then the capital... No, that's the thing. The capital was losing so many soldiers, they made a deal with District 13 to be like, hey, call this off, and we will grant you your freedom. You can be your own separate nation, and we'll just pretend that we nuked you. And they were like, you know what, sure, fine. That way we won't be oppressed by you anymore. And so they did that. They fake nuked District 13, and then started the Hunger Games to keep all the other districts from revolting.
I mean,
it's crazy.
I like my odds in a Hunger Game.
I do not like my odds.
I'm too slow.
I'm biting bitches' jugulars out to get out of that bitch.
Nick, did you say I'm too scared?
I'm too slow.
Too slow. I'm too scared.
I'm not too scared.
I don't think even in a life or death situation, I don't think I could bring myself to do some of the things they do in those books and movies.
I've got enough pent up trauma. I would be a menace. People would be terrified of running into
my pent up trauma would make me shut down, though. That's the thing. I would just cease all function and I would just stand still on the starting platform, just like staring blankly into space, like not even registering that I'm anywhere physically. Like, I would completely shut down, and then I'd catch like a friggin' sword to the neck or something. Like,
I think they'd just go full emotional nuke mode and just start fucking fist fighting people.
Oh yeah. The first couple nights of me picking off people in the dark while they sleep, they're gonna be just fucking traumatized.
Nah.
They don't want to go out.
I know how I handle stress, and it's by shutting down. It's not a good time.
I'd be in my element right there.
Let us continue this video.
I was gonna say, we gotta get to this fucking video.
Yeah.
Stop
The largest
talking.
beneficiaries of MRA shit. Imagine saying women flock to women's rights activism because they're the biggest beneficiaries.
I was about to ask what MRA was.
No f***ing shit. Let's be honest. Aside from procreation purposes, men have become obsolete. Most women can find other methods of achieving orgasm without a man there. And speaking as a man, most of us are horrid to be around, and I don't blame any woman for just saying, no,
what a
thanks.
pick me.
Oh my god, dude, this is what every Just Pearly Things tweet looks like to me, just with the genders swapped. This is pathetic. You know what fixes male only?
Like White Knight kind of deal.
As a man, I'll say this. sit down, shut up, and beat one out.
Hold on, that one these just piss me off.
100%.
Jerking off does not fix loneliness of any kind.
No.
It also tends to make me sadder.
Yeah, it usually makes people more lonely.
Well, depending on the situation. Sometimes I'm like, oh, that's good, but
Patricia or some shit.
I just think people equate men with only sex. Like,
100%.
You're just an emotionless sex robot. You're obsolete because you can't bring people to orgasm. You're obsolete, so you just fucking jerk off, so you're not lonely anymore. That's not the kind of loneliness people are talking about.
Right. And again, brain dead responses. That's the brain dead advice that the guy was talking about before.
Men only want
completely missing the point and saying some off the wall, unrelated nonsense.
You'll feel better, I promise. Yeah, guys, just beat one out. Just off. Just watch porn. Batman will be very disappointed in all of you. It's so funny how men feel entitled to a girlfriend. No, you sexist freak. When one side is like, wanting a girlfriend is sexist entitlement, and the other side is like, here's how to get a girlfriend. I don't know, bro. What happened to males just kicking the bucket?
Oh
now
my
they just come on
gosh.
here and try to make their loneliness and misery into some social justice issue. Oh, trust me.
Wow.
Men are still kicking the bucket. And when
A
they're
lot.
not giving mind-blowing advice like
Like a
just
lot.
be liberal, they're outright dismissing men's issues completely. It's not our job to educate them. Since men created the problem, they need to take steps to fix it. We have other things to care about. Men can figure out their own problems that they created. Again, it's not women's jobs to change how men are socialized. It's a man issue, and y'all need to address that amongst yourselves. Men created their own problems. Men can solve their own problems. The left is busy. Why does the well-being of other people concern me?
Wait,
Leftist,
hold
by
on.
the way. It's all systemic.
We did not make it far.
It's men's problems. Men can solve their own problems. The left is busy. There are no men in the left. that's some. What? How did you get from point A to C? You skipped B entirely.
No, dude, they went from point A to point negative A.
Point negative A.
I found the negative letters somehow.
Yeah, genuinely though. Sorry, that just.
Societal factors and blah 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 until it's a man, and then suddenly it's pull yourselves up by your bootstraps. This problem is just a consequence of the patriarchy. Now take a wild guess about which gender created the patriarchy. Solve your own problems and leave women alone. These people rightly mock the bootstraps rhetoric until the subject is a man, and then it's bootstraps all the way down. They would never talk about any other group this way. It's
That one took the
wild.
opposite
It's really
approach.
both sides are telling men to hold themselves up by their bootstraps.
Instead
But
of
one
saying
is
it's a
like,
men problem,
"I'll
let
show
men
you
solve it. The
how,"
left
and
is
the other
busy.
is
They were like,
"Fuck
it's
off."
not.
And when they're not telling men
the-
to
the-
straight up fuck off, they're giving the 200
Sorry,
IQ answer that
I
nobody has
cannot
ever-
think coherently right now. I'm so taken aback by the freaking. All I can say is like it's cognitive dissonance at this point. Like none of them are making any sort of coherent thought at all, and it's breaking my
Problem
brain.
is you're reacting emotionally.
I'm trying to react logically, and the logic isn't logicking. So the next step is emotion.
There is no logic here. It's all absolutely insane.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm trying to see logic, and there isn't any.
And I'm not dismissing this problem, okay? I've made videos talking about this. Oh, you're crying at your grandfather's funeral? Okay, it. And studies have shown that men
Wow.
are scared. to be
Genuine
vulnerable
response
around
I've seen
home.
people give
And do we
though.
blame them when the media says stupid like this? Fellas, is it woke to open up to your fellow men and discuss history? Men
Yes.
are socialized to believe strength, dominance,
But that's a good
and
thing.
stoicism are behaviors of a real man. Is it any surprise that men are lonely and have less friends nowadays? You have to be vulnerable to make friends. Don't tell me there aren't systemic
Is the
problems.
woke in the room with us right
While
now?
a lot of this may be true, men have been socialized this way for centuries, and this is all relatively a new phenomenon. Toxic masculinity has existed forever. If anything, there's less toxic masculinity nowadays. The cultural embrace of like gender nonconformity, femboys, Harry Styles in a dress,
Oh,
Barbie
hell yeah, I love
movie,
me
blah,
some
blah,
femme
blah,
boys.
blah. My point is, toxic masculinity did not just appear in the mid-2010s. But social media did, and the internet did, and the rise of dating apps did, and the housing crisis, and living in a country where the wealth inequality is worse than it was during the Gilded Age. That all happened recently. Oh my god, the privileged life these poor little boys must have, that their biggest problem is being lonely, i.e. so insufferable that nobody wants to sleep with them. So much more pressing than the poor distribution of wealth causing people to suffer food and housing insecurity. Boo-hoo, you're lonely and have no friends and are suicidal when? Because feeling alienated under capitalism apparently isn't a thing. People are working harder and longer while wages have been stagnant, men have been dropping out of college like flies, and what does that get you? Poor men. Which, since women are doing amazing in college now, and many are now out-earning men, this most of the time leads to single men, which then leads to lonely men, which leads to depressed men, which leads to the high suicide rate. In my opinion, leftism at a policy level does a great job addressing the shitty material conditions that in part lead to the problems that men are facing, but then absolutely drops the ball when it comes to everything and anything related to men's cultural issues. Many such cases. And why would a struggling man even want to move left when the left appears actively hostile to them?
The question of whether or not the hashtag online left does enough to appeal to hashtag men has become the question du jour. And like, men have most of the money, authority, and do most of the murdering and assaulting.
The average young man in America isn't Jeff Bezos. Also, why did this motherfucker just FBI crime statistics at me? Men do the most murder. Okay?
They like having all of the stuff they don't deserve. They like that. They want it to stay that way, because it suits them. Because of the stuff, telling people they're special and deserve all the nice shit that they have, that's going to be an easier sell 10 times out of 10 than like saying, hey,
I don't
maybe
want
you
to
should have
assume
less stuff and
anything,
other people should have
but this
more.
feels like friendly fire.
Kyle, you were doing so good for so long, not saying anything. And
I didn't mean you should pause. I just.
That's what you came out with.
I just wanted to soak that comic up. I just wanted to soak it up real quick.
All right.
Leftism is when you don't have a lot of stuff. We're gonna take your stuff. You sound like a 65-year-old Fox News boomer's idea of what the left is. Are you a CIA agent? The right is saying to men, you will own a house. You will have beautiful children with your loving wife. You will have privacy. You will have free speech. You will own things, and you will be happy. And the left is like...
They like having all of the stuff they don't deserve.
But don't get me wrong, Republicans will not do shit. The Republican Party will not do shit. The establishment in general will not do shit to help any of this. But the right is, at least rhetorically, offering men something other than nothing or the internal HR department. Every time
On the surface, they're like, yes, you are important, but behind closed doors, they're like, just kidding, no, you're not. Otherwise, it's like, just kidding, you're not important, but behind closed doors, maybe a little bit. Probably not, though.
Look appealing to young
It's real
men
weird.
is an uphill battle from the start. And although it's funny to laugh at insane people on Twitter, as always, there have been a lot of left-wing content creators talking about men's issues. If you would have told me this would be a thing 9 years ago, I would not believe you, because anyone talking about men's issues back in the day was called an MRA or a pick-me. But lately I have seen a lot of good pro-men lefty content, and I'll put some links to some below. I don't agree with all the points they say, but I recommend
Links
watching.
to below.
It's much better than...
They like having all of the stuff they don't deserve.
But the issue is a lot of this lefty pro-men content, it's always framed around how do we get them? As if men are just pawns and tools for your personal politics. How do we make the left more appealing to men? How do we stop lonely men from moving to Andrew Tate? Instead of just, how do we help men? And I think that's a really big issue. Both sides seem to treat men as political fodder. Disposable soldiers in the culture war and real war. Anyway, misandry is real. Oh good, finally! And while it doesn't systemically affect cis men, it most certainly affects trans men. Oh, y'all talking about misandry doesn't harm men, and trans men are right there reading this shit, by the way. I see, now we only care about misandry because it affects trans men. Everyone stop! It's affecting a group I care about now. I love how the rhetoric just like evolved overnight from male tears to cis male tears. And I just have to ask, why aren't you including trans men in your misandry,
Overpriced filler and marketing hype don't improve supplements. So stop
because behind closed doors they don't view trans men as men, even though they are men.
Lonely. Being a man is. We knew what death felt like before we transitioned. We knew what it felt like to like have people want to hug us and to have people want to talk to us and to have a community. And then you transition and you're just a guy walking down the street that people cross the street so that they're not near you. And friendships are so much harder to build. And what's hard is none of this invalidates how real and raw women and people who are in marginalized groups feel about cis white men. All of that's valid, but I also now understand why the suicide rate is so much higher in men.
Welcome to being a man. Here's your complimentary isolation and yellow pillow. I love how even when he's experiencing the issues of being a man, he's like, this doesn't invalidate people hating men. Come on, bro. Men struggling don't want to be lectured about the patriarchy. They don't want to be told it's all their fault. They don't want to be told they're part of the problem, because first of all, they're not. The average 20-year-old didn't build society. They go to work, come home, go off to sissy hypno fetish, and go to bed like everyone else. I've talked about this.
You didn't have to call me out like that.
A lot of men's value comes from the money they make, unfortunately. Men are natural providers, and if they have nobody to provide for...
How'd you get my history, by the way?
Or send random girls on the internet money. I'm just kidding, but the fact is, a lot of men simply feel like they don't have a purpose anymore. Whether a job or a career that's fulfilling and pays well, or a woman or family to protect and take care of and provide for, men are lacking purpose. And a man will crawl through broken glass for a purpose. But you know what does make them feel like they have a purpose? No, not him.
I say that life as a man is exceptionally difficult. I say the most beautiful and the most terrifying thing about being a man is you're born without values. Society doesn't care about you.
The absolute audacity.
I don't like how robotical they all are, and how fast they all talk.
These guys up after a decade
It makes me so uncomfortable.
of male tears is insane. Andrew Tate isn't the solution to men's problems, but he is talking to them. The fact is, you did not care about them for years, and even now you just want to recruit them, not help them, and that's why you will fail. And hey, maybe I'll be the Andrew Tate of the left. Men, listen up. Wash your penis. So I guess I'll leave you guys with a question.
Nick, listen to her.
No.
What are your solutions for this problem? And are you
Men always wear a condom in the shower.
No!
Never.
I've never not worn a condom in the shower.
Exactly. Never expose your dick and balls to water or soap.
I hate.
Oh, you know, I never did think about putting the balls in the condom too. That's genius. Fuck.
Exactly, dude. You gotta stuff it. Like a Thanksgiving turkey.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I hate both of you.
How can I expect any efficacy of the condom if my balls aren't in there too?
So what'd you guys think?
I mean, lots and lots and lots of really, really good points, honestly.
I mean, everyone is sad and everyone's angry and everyone wants to have someone to blame, and it's the people we can blame are the people who are, for the most part, dead now.
Yep.
Yeah, but
so
that's
we've
the
got to
thing,
find a
is
living scapegoat, and
usually it's men who really have nothing to do with anything that's happening.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's unfortunate. It's hard. That's another thing. It's hard to talk about a topic like this without sounding like an alt-right person, because they're the only ones that do talk about it. And I'm not saying I say that, but like I said earlier, that's not necessarily true, and it's not necessarily true. It's just
it's rare. It's very rare.
You've got to find the right people, and the right people are sparse, and they get drowned out by the louder ones.
And often, like she mentioned, even if they are talking about it, they have to make sure they bring up the point that it doesn't invalidate people who hate them.
Right, that's exactly like the guy in the video that was on the verge of tears.
Yeah.
Like, and it's true, it doesn't invalidate anything. Multiple problems can exist at the same time.
You're also capable of caring about multiple problems at the same time.
Right, and you're also it's also very possible and encouraged to care about multiple conflicting problems at the same time, because that shows complexity. That shows that you care more deeply than surface level performatism.
I have no control over any of the systems in place. I do not have
Right.
the mental capacity or emotional bandwidth to invest in
I am not
caring about them to that degree.
I am not a geriatric billionaire on the verge of having a stroke that'll put me in life support. I am a 20-something person that is just living day to day in a system that I can't influence realistically.
And the
Like,
people who bring up male privilege and act like, you know, oh, they don't want things to change because they benefit from the male privilege, the system around male privilege. A lot of guys I know don't even know A, what male privilege is, and B, get mad when people bring it up because
Well, that's because they have male privilege.
And that's the thing. Male privilege is just certain things being easier because you're a man, because of systems that are put in place by men a long time ago.
Yeah,
right,
like I
but
said, everyone that we should
over
be
200
mad at
years
is pretty
ago.
much dead.
And if they're not dead, they're rich.
That's like something I've had
And we should
to
still be mad at them.
something I've had to attempt to explain to people is on a similar vein as like white privilege. It's like, oh, I don't feel privileged because I'm white. That's you shouldn't. That's the whole point of it, is you don't notice it because you experience it.
By the way,
But
Argyle,
it doesn't
how many rooms are
mean
you at?
that you have it easy. It just means that it may not necessarily be as difficult because of systems that are in place, you know? Hold on, what is this number? 4,740,000.
Nice, I'm at 3 million. Just been farming.
I want to get to 5 million before we end stream, which I've got like 4 minutes before I do that, so.
I was gonna say, I've gotta get off here relatively soon.
Yeah.
I'll be right back, and then I want to mention one more thing.
And then we'll do closing statements.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
This episode took a weird turn.
It really did. I titled it Spoopy Places. We talked about spoopy places for like 5 minutes.
We did. We literally talked about spooky places for like the first 10 minutes and then went off on a million other tangents.
We should just name our podcast. We don't know what we're doing.
That's what I usually do. Like this one I said Rune farming while jibber-jabbering. Because that's what we typically do. We just jibber-jabber.
You know what I realized? I had not been changing the category of the streams for the podcast, so they've been all in gaming. This makes it work.
I mean, to be fair, I put it on talk shows and podcasts, which it still is. That's what we're doing. It just happens to be over game footage.
So, have you guys heard of Nora Vincent?
Nope.
Nora Vincent? No, I can't say that I have.
She was a journalist, a feminist journalist.
I should say maybe, but not off the top of my head.
Who wrote a book called Self-Made Man, where with the help of like a makeup artist and training and putting on certain clothes, lived as a man for.
Oh, is this the lady who checked herself into a mental hospital because of that?
She ended up committing suicide because of it. Because she went into it with the idea that it would be easy, and that was the whole point of the book, was to show kind of how easy it is to be a man. And she ended up committing suicide. I've seen that a lot lately, people talking about her.
Yeah.
It's a very sad situation.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm one bad day away from that myself every fucking day.
Yikes.
I mean, clearly that day keeps getting pushed back, but
Thankfully. For a multitude of reasons.
I don't know anymore.
And
I have felt that many times.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be difficult to find I don't know. Most people I know have felt that way at least once in their lifetime. And most of those people have felt it more than once, sometimes fairly consistently.
Well, and I think it's weird because men are valued very differently.
Mm-hmm. Workhorses.
They're valued in what they can provide.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been referred to as a rented mule before.
No.
Yeah, and that's kind of how it's been for a very long time. And the thing is, the people who put that in place are men.
And they're mostly dead now.
Yeah.
And if they're not, they're the senile geriatric billionaires that are in control, that are on the verge of a stroke, that'll put them in the ICU.
When people are saying it's a male problem created by men, I get it.
But not
We still need
these
help.
men.
Yeah.
Not the ones that are currently being affected by it.
Yeah. And I definitely have felt the loneliness aspect of that.
Mm-hmm. Same.
You know, and especially with, you know, the fact that, you know, men are earning less than women, which, you know.
Why do you think I was so into giving you hugs all the time, Nick? Because of that exact thing, like loneliness. Like I wanted to feel someone care about me enough to embrace me.
Why do you think my Amazon shop is just full of sex dolls? Just want to feel something.
That might be a little different situation, but you know, I'll accept it.
You mean sex dolls don't cure loneliness?
About as well as masturbation.
Oh shit. Well, I guess I won't buy them then.
I cancel the order.
Yeah, damn it.
Damn, they were halfway here too.
And they were half off.
They're gonna be real disappointed being shipped back to China.
Oof. They were only $50 instead of 100.
Yeah, it even feels weird to try and talk to therapists about it because a lot of the therapists I talk to about it just don't seem to care.
That's why That's why I'm very hesitant to try to go to therapy, is because I don't feel like they care.
Only when it pertains to I'm lonely, and it usually has something to do with being lonely because of being a man. They don't seem to care.
Yeah. That's I don't trust therapists. I think they're there to do their job and get paid, and I don't think they genuinely care about the well-being of their patients.
I think it's the same thing you could say for doctors or
I mean,
police officers, firefighters. It's a certain
I think it's a little different, at least in my eyes. It's way different for like firefighters because they're putting their lives much more at risk than just talking to a person for a little while, you know?
I don't know. People going into therapy pretty crazy. You might get shanked in the neck with a ruler.
Yeah, but you're not rushing into a burning building.
I mean, my internal monologue's a burning building.
It's different. It's different.
By the way, to put anyone's concerns to rest, I would consider disappearing into the wilderness far before I considered actually killing myself.
Alright, well, that's marginally better.
There's a new anime I started watching that hit me real hard.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this dude who was just going to work every single day, and he fucking hated his job.
Oh, the
One Punch Man?
Yeah, no. Zom 100 is what it's called.
I mean, that's how Saitama became Saitama. He just got tired of going to work, so he decided to do something different.
So it's this dude who just hates his fucking job. And then the zombie apocalypse start. And he's just like, fuck yeah, I don't have to go to work. And he just starts like making a bucket list and doing a bunch of shit during the zombie apocalypse because it's like I don't have to go to work anymore. This is amazing.
Oh, by the way, I'm at 5 million runes now.
Noise.
Oh my gosh.
Unfortunately,
Die,
sorry
you
to
bird.
whoever just joined to watch the stream. We are ending up here.
Yeah.
I gotta.
We're
get
doing
off.
our closing conversational pieces now.
Things to do, people to see,
People to
places
do.
be. Yeah, people to do all the
Pay
things.
on OnlyFans to do things.
Genuinely
Yeah.
though, I've once again, I've genuinely thought about doing that.
What if we
Should I? Hey chat, should I do
started
that?
an OnlyFans together and posted separately?
That might be a little weird, but I
Oh yeah,
think
because we could see it. We could. I mean, but you know.
Less weird than the Island Boys OnlyFans.
much less weird.
Because we're not going to be sucking each other's dicks and we're not related.
And honestly,
if you are, you better be doing it for more than $5.
If you're only logging on to post your own
$7.25
post,
minimum,
then you can minimize the risk of seeing someone else's post. So like, I don't know. I wouldn't outright turn it down. I would at least hear out the conversation.
I wouldn't do anything outwardly sexual either. I'd be eating food.
Yeah,
Which for some people is outwardly sexual.
For some people, yes. I don't know. I would have to figure out something that I could do that would be.
We do an
fitting.
OnlyFans competition. We each make a separate OnlyFans, and we gauge who can earn the most.
Yeah.
And on that note, thank you everybody for watching. I hope you had a great time. Who knows? I think Elden Ring playthrough number 7 is next on the list. We'll get to that sometime in the next few days. Everybody have a good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I gotta go to Streamlabs.